In this video I'm talking about the importance of lifelong learning and the future or possible future of the education and the education system. So, long time ago there was no real learning, only some very high society members could learn, and then in the 19th century more and more countries, and then the 20th century more and more countries forced people to go to school, and it was a huge boost for learning because at the time there was no really other sources of knowledge and learning. But now in the 21st century the situation is totally changed. One big change, that kind of stability and unchanging world disappeared, and now everything changes faster and faster, except the educational system, and I'm talking about all of the countries in the world. So what is very important, that you have to be able to have an attitude of learning, always improve your skills, because the world changes, jobs disappear, professions disappear, and there will be a lot of new opportunities. But if you are not able to adjust yourself to catch up very quickly, then you will have a problem. So number one, learn to learn. It is a skill to learn. It is not about passivity, it is about that you go after, you have a goal. I need to be able to write a JavaScript, okay, but I don't know how to do this. So you go after, you have a goal, you set a project, and whatever way you can, you will find the way to do it. Or if you need some accounting knowledge, that you go there after that and you get it. Of course you can go to some official schools, you pay the money, or maybe it's free. You can learn at home using internet, using books, getting private tutors. So there are infinite ways, but you cannot wait anymore and just hope that you learned the first 12-20 years in your life and then you finished. You have to upgrade yourself in the whole of your life, and not just for work, or mainly of course it's for work, but also get knowledge, new knowledge about health. Because let's say even if you are retired, but you are still thinking in an old way, what you learned 10, 20, 30 years ago about health and the food and how the body works, then you probably miss a lot of opportunity to make your life, your body healthier. So you have to be able to learn. First, it is a desire. So not just external motivation that, oh, I will not be able to find a job if I don't upgrade my knowledge. This is about a desire to really learn, but not just learn anything. It's something, focus on some goals. But the goal can be just, I want to feel happier. I want to know how to calm down myself. So it's learn about emotion. I want to be able to connect to people better. So you learn about relationship management. Then you want to get a better job. You want leadership skills. Then you learn everything. Or you want to be healthier, or you want just to generally understand science better because you are curious. You want to learn new technologies. So it's motivating yourself. You need to be able to self-motivate, be curious. And for most of the people, at least for me, if I go into that topic, I become more and more interested. Maybe first I didn't even know that topic exists, but then I learn about this, and you follow some, maybe there is a keyword, a concept that, oh, what is this? And then you start to search, or you go to a course because you discover that there is a lot of things that you don't know. So lifelong learning is an attitude and the skills. You have to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of your learning, because if you need a lot of time to learn something that you could actually learn in much shorter time, you're just wasting your time and you don't achieve your goal. And so the learning, and mainly I'm talking about self-learning, that you learn alone, reading books, watching YouTube videos, reading websites, but you can also get other people's help. So when you learn, set up a system. You are always in a system. So it's not just sitting down and learning, start to learn, but create a physical and social environment. So for example, if you live with other people at home, then you have to be able to find a quiet place. So you have to organize with people that when they are not at home, you ask them to leave, or create an environment, a physical environment that stimulates learning at home. Okay? You have to find a routine, you have to create a routine, find the right time when you can learn, when you are in that state, when you can absorb new information, you can remember very well. And then, of course, it's not just the physical and social environment. So physical environment, for example, a place where it's quiet, if quiet is important for your learning. That focus on the physical environment when there is no disturbing things. So for example, no telephone rings, no other people interrupt you all the time. So it also has a social aspect, but also put yourself in the learning state. So learning state, the physiological element, the body element, that don't be tired, don't be hungry, don't be too full, don't be too energetic, but don't be too weak. The cognitive part is being able to focus. So focus is a skill. If you practice like a muscle, if you practice, you will become better and better in focusing. And the memory, memory is also important. That is the same, and it's connected to focus. Focus and memory are two very important mental skills that you can accelerate your learning speed very, very fast. Oh, very windy. And the mental attitude is curiosity. I want to know this, and I accept that sometimes it will be boring, but it will be useful. You can also find some external motivation, for example, passing an exam, or you want to show off and you want to have conversation topics. Yeah, it can be useful, but the internal motivation is much more important. So focus on that one, that I really want to learn, and give up the attitude that, oh, I don't have the talent, let's say about language or music. Oh, I don't have the talent to learn, so I don't even start. No. The attitude that you can always improve yourself. So let's say that other people can learn music much better, faster than you. Okay, you start, but you decided that this is your project, you work on this. Just start and you will be slow. Okay, but when you learn something, it's not just that you become better in that subject or domain, but you will improve your learning. So, and after a while, you can be much more conscious about the learning. That what I'm talking about is, you set up the system of learning, set up habits and routine, that and plan when you will do the next learning. Prepare your body and your mind for the learning experience. Get people who support you. At least don't criticize you. Why do you waste your time for playing music? You should do something else. That people who support, get support, is also part of the system that will determine how successful you are, whether you give up or not. So learning is about gaining skills, capabilities, and do it the best way if you do it for your future, not because you are forced. Oh, suddenly I'm unemployed and I realize that my language skills are not good, and very quickly I have to learn a language, otherwise I will not be able to work. It's too short-sighted. You have to be strategic in your learning. So you are learning not because just you are interested and it's fun for you, but you will have a benefit. And a lot of times you learn skills and maybe for 5-10 years you don't see any benefit of this, but maybe some of the skills that you learn will be useful in the future, because that will be one component of maybe a larger skills, or you will have a project and you will need that skills. So a lot of time when you look back and you realize that, oh, I'm successful now, but because I did that and that and that, I connected to people and I learned different things. And that's why it's very important that don't think about failure and success related to not just business and work, but also for learning. So whatever you do, maybe if you have a very specific goal with a very specific deadline, then you will think that, oh, I failed. I spent already 1 year to learn music or learn these sports like skating or skiing, but I still cannot do this. I'm a failure, I'm a stupid person, I cannot learn anything. No, you learned something, yes, you failed your expectation, but that is not the point. The point that you had a goal and you went after the goal. And then you improved. Yes, you can do more, you can improve better, you can spend more time, but don't put down yourself. So don't categorize yourself that, oh, I don't have a talent, I'm a slow learner. No, this is not useful. Think about this, that you improve, you improve that skill, but also you improve your learning skills. So even if you learn playing the piano and it will be never useful in your life, you learned how to spend a lot of time to work on a project, do the boring thing. You understand the learning process, that you have to do a lot of repetition. You learn basic things and you do a lot of times, and you learn how the brain will make it automatic. So let's say you play this in a very long time and it become automatic. So then this is a building block for a larger thing. So you learn this kind of you will understand how you learn. And if you study other people, how they learn, you talk to them. Maybe you read books, maybe you go to YouTube and use videos like this, for example, to learn about the learning skills. Then you can teach yourself to learn faster. Understand the different process that, for example, you at the beginning you don't know anything and then you become interested. So this is the next step, you become interested, and maybe you don't do anything, but maybe immediately or maybe a long time later you start to, oh, I need this skill, I need to know this. And then you start to learn, and first very consciously, slowly, but then you will be able to do it faster and faster. Like I speak a language, you will make less mistakes, you will speak faster. Or the same with sports or dance, you can do the same movement much faster. And then you will understand that, oh, I can generalize this learning process. So, oh, now I can do it consciously, I practice a lot, I gradually become subconscious and automatic. And maybe you go to the next stage that you start to teach to other people, and then you realize that, oh, that is the next level, because even if I can do it very well, can I explain this? Can I transfer my knowledge? You have to really model not just the discipline that you are learning, but also the learning process. So how can you transfer your knowledge to another person? And then when you are coaching and training other people, you will get to a higher level, because they will ask questions that you never thought about this. And you understand that learning is always related to many other things. That you learn these core things, but you also have to learn this, you have to learn this, you have to learn this. For example, if you want to improve your leadership skills, or let's say this is your goal, I want to self-develop, how can I make this? So you learn maybe the core leadership skills, but then you realize that, oh, teaching people is related to leadership, or planning and strategizing better, it's also related to leadership. I have to learn this. Or time management skills. Oh, I'm not good at time management, so I have to learn these skills, that how can I schedule my things so not make people wait for me and don't waste my own time. So you will learn a lot of this kind of sub skills. So even if you think that you failed in learning, you learn this. And the key point that be more conscious about your learning, that understand the system, understand the process, understand self-motivation, understand how to get surrounded with people who motivate you instead of pulling you back and stopping you achieving your goal. So this is the main general concept, that you have to be able to learn. And until now I focus mainly on self-learning, but of course we have the education system, and this education system maybe will stay for a long time, because a lot of people have interest to keep this: government, teachers, parents, maybe even the school, even if they are not changing according to the times requirements. There will be probably this mandatory primary school, secondary school education system. But what is very important for you or for your child, that get the skills to learn independently of this. So let's perform very well, pass the exams, get the certificate, because unfortunately it's necessary, but don't expect that you will learn a lot of useful things even at the university. Yeah, in some university, when the subjects are very technical, then maybe it's very useful, but in very general thinking, like in very general type of education like business or maybe teaching, it's more about attitude. So you have to train yourself. Don't rely on the official government education system. Exploit this, use this, spend time to develop your skills, and of course the relationship with people, that can be very useful. But focus on that. Let's say you are in a classroom, don't waste the time, even if you think that it will be not very useful in your life, probably. Focus, improve your skills to listen to the teacher and remember most of the things that he or she said. And during this time you are not wasting just relaxing and daydreaming. That is really total waste of time. If you are already there, do something useful. That remember, focus, be interested, and when you go home, then you can learn additional things about that subject. Or if they don't teach anything useful, then learn a total different thing at home. Okay, so I predict that this mandatory government provided education system will be there. It's okay. And the real problem why, let's say, people go to the university instead of getting their knowledge, because they need a certificate. And why they need a certificate? Because companies look at the certificate. So they want the people who employ the employees, they want to protect themselves, and they believe that if somebody has a certificate, that person has knowledge, and if they don't have a certificate, they don't have the knowledge. So it's a kind of protecting themselves, that, oh, I hired these people, he went to the university, he has the knowledge, so don't blame me that I mishired somebody. But for me, let's say that if I want to hire somebody for a job, and if it's not mandatory by any law to have a certificate, a degree, a university degree, I would not look at the certificate. I don't care where this person gets the knowledge. If I'm to focus on the knowledge part, not the attitude, I would test whether this person has enough basic knowledge to do the job, and whether I can train this person if the attitude is good to get. So actually, if I hire somebody, I would focus mainly on the attitude as much as I can sense this and understand this. But if the knowledge part, if knowledge is very important immediately, I would focus on what is the real knowledge, and I would totally ignore the certificate. So the problem is that companies looking for certificate, so people go to university, go to different courses to get a certificate, and it's not really about the knowledge, it's about getting the paper. People learn in institution for the certificate because they believe that will open the door, and it was true in the past, and I hope that it will be not true in the future, and some companies start to hire people without any certificate, but the appropriate attitude and knowledge and soft skills. Another source of knowledge other than the private that learn by yourself, learn from private institutions, that you go there for a language course, not for the certificate but for the language, and maybe it's one-to-one, it's even better than in a group. Or you go to the government provided primary school, secondary school, university, and you get. And the third one is internet, free education. I believe that this is the future. It will improve. Like I create this video, this is free, and you can learn from this. And there are more and more things that you can learn. Actually, I learn online, not online, from YouTube videos a lot. And I think about this. Maybe I go and read about the topic more online. So the free shared education is the future, because this gives you really the knowledge. And the next stage of this one is that computers will teach people. But I believe that for a lot of things, so okay, the current stage that there are videos, and then you follow the video and you can learn how to cook, how to dance. Yeah, of course, sometimes you need to practice in the real life, but a lot of knowledge is just in the mind, like mathematics. But even if it needs some practical skills, how to swim, you can watch videos, somebody can explain everything, and then you can go to the swimming pool and you can do it by yourself. But the future will be virtual learning. You put something and you will be there, and you do the swimming, and then the machines, robots, AI will help you. And when the feedback system will be very good, for example, you learn language, now you need a teacher who gives feedback and corrects your pronunciation and grammar and everything. But when technology improves in a level that computers can do it better, then you can learn total alone, for example, a language or a dance. You can dance with a computer, and the computer will lead and tell you that put your legs here, put your arms stronger, faster, slower. Then this will be the future. And so the trend that is coming up is free, more and more free learning opportunities online, and the other is technological driven, AI driven, robots driven learning, and virtual reality, augmented reality. This will help you to learn. And let's say that you want to learn how to repair a car. You don't need to go to a school and study a lot of other subjects. that you don't care about and actually it's not important to get a certificate. No, you can go online even today. I'm sure, I didn't try, but you can learn a lot of things to repairing cars. But when it's combined in an interactive part, not just somebody created a video, it's a one-way communication. That is very helpful, very visual, people can give you. But when it becomes two-way without a human, of course, so you can do it as a human that somebody is teaching you, like let's say repairing the car, there can be a video and somebody is telling you how to do this. But when the machines can do this, it will be very cheap or free, and then instead of learning a few years to repair a car, you can do it in a few days, you can learn it. And the other thing, that learning and working together. So this present system that you learn the first 20 years in your life, no real life experiences, and then you go to work, and then the work is totally different than what you learn, is totally useless what you learn, then it should be, I don't know, but it should be that together, learn, experience, learn, experience, learn, experience. And you can do this when there will be robots, and when there will be no any danger that you harm yourself if you don't do something correctly. So this is lifelong learning, learning and working. Probably people will not go to retire at a certain age. So I predict, at least about myself, that I don't want to retire. Now I don't work very hard, I work, and I also enjoy my life, and at the same time in the future I don't want to retire. If I can, I want to work, not just because of the money, not really. It's about because if you find a work that you enjoy, then you want to learn. So for me, the learning, improving, very important. Is not just abstract learning, but it's learning in the real life. Okay? So these are the main trends of learnings, and embrace this idea that you should be able to learn by yourself and learn all the time. Otherwise you will not have the knowledge to catch up in your job, in your health, in your relationship, because the world is changes.